for our first lesson in Flash, we are going to make an animated birthday card. Let me show you an example. It'll look something like this. Okay, so nice and simple. And the first thing I want you to do is we have to first create our letters. So the happy and then the birthday, we're going to create those in Illustrator. So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and open up your Illustrator. And let's go ahead and reset everything so that we know that everybody's screen looks exactly the same. So Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials, and then add your navigator if you want to. And then we're going to open up a new file. So we're just going to go File, New, accept the default, click OK. And we're going to start off by making this first circle with H inside. So grab your rectangle tool, click down, and grab the ellipse tool and make a circle. Now you don't want to make it too big of a circle. I think mine right now is, if you see, it's 1.5 inches in width and 1.4 in height. So I might try to get something close to that, like 1.5, 1.5, because you don't want it too big. So then we're going to fill it. Now that we have our circle, we're going to fill it with color. I'm going to choose an orange color. You can choose whatever color you want. And then I'm going to keep the stroke black, but I'm going to change the stroke width, which is how thick the stroke is, to 2 points. So then I have a circle that looks like this. Next, I'm going to create the letter H inside of it. So I'm going to hit the word T, click anywhere outside of the circle, and type a capital H. Now with my selection tool, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to move it over to my circle. It's a little bit small. So first let's change, actually I'll make it a little bit bigger first. And then I'm going to find a font. Find a font that you like. Make sure it's readable though. I'm going to choose Comic Sans, and I'm going to bold it. And then I'm going to move it onto my H. So then I have something that looks kind of like this. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my H. Actually, I'm going to leave my H black. I was going to change the H to white, but I think I'll leave it. Okay, so then you have something like this. And make sure the H is kind of centered inside the circle. We don't want it off-centered. So now that our first letter is done, we're going to go File. Instead of Save As like we're used to, we're going to go Save for Web. And if you notice, it saves just the portion that is around the H. If you have something that looks like this, so it's saving the entire document, over here on the right hand side there's a check mark that says Clip to Artboard. Make sure that is unclicked, and that's going to give you this, because that's all we want to save. And then hit, and then make sure this says PNG. You'll have these 4 options. We want the PNG 24. And then click Save. And then click to wherever you're saving it at. I'm going to save mine as letter H to my desktop. And then in order to make the second circle, it's very easy. Click your T, highlight the H, change it to an A. Hit my selection tool, make sure it's centered on my circle, which it's not. Okay, select my circle and change the color. I'm going to change it to green. I'm going to do that green right there. So then my second circle is done. So File, Save for Web. Make sure this is unclicked and it's PNG 24. Click Save. I'm going to save it as letter A. And make sure you're saving it in the same spot that you saved your letter H. Okay, next we're going to, with the selection tool, we're going to change the color of our circle. I'm going to change it to red. And we're going to grab the text tool and change the A to a P. and it's off-centered, so grab your selection tool and center it a little bit. Okay, and then once you're happy, File, Save for Web, PNG 24, make sure that is unclicked, and save. And then letter P. Okay, there's two P's in happy, so we're going to leave the P. We're just going to change the circle, so we're going to make sure the selection tool is selected. Click the circle and change it to, we'll do yellow. So it should be good. File, Save for Web, PNG 24, make sure the Clip to Artboard is unclicked, and save. And we can't save it as letter P because we already have a letter P. So we have to do letter P2 maybe. So that means it's the second P. Okay, and the last letter, click your T, change it to a Y. I'm going to center it a little bit more. And we're going to, with the selection tool, select your circle. And I think we haven't used blue. I don't think we've used blue. So we'll do blue. Then we'll go File, Save for Web, PNG 24, click to Artboard is unclicked, click Save. Make sure I haven't, nope, I haven't used blue. So letter Y, and click Save. Okay, so we're done with that. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just delete my circle and my Y. The next thing we want to do is we want to create the word birthday. So we're going to grab our ellipse tool and we're going to choose the star tool. And then all you have to do is click and accept all the defaults, click OK, and we have our star. I am going to hit the selection tool and rotate it a little bit. So we have something like this. And then I'm also going to change the fill to red, and I'm going to have a black stroke. So then you have something like this. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Something like that. Now we want all the stars in our birthday to be the same size. So what I'm going to do is instead of creating another one, I'm going to click on this and go Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. So that way I know I have the exact same size. Except for this one, I'm going to fill it with yellow. And you can fill it with different colors if you want. Just make sure it's going to go with the colors that you chose for happy. Now, we have the words. We have enough stars for B and I, but we got to add some more. So instead of doing one star at a time, since we have our initial color scheme, we are going to, with the selection tool, I'm just going to draw a square around these two stars so it selects both of them. And then holding down Alt on my keyboard, I'm going to hold down Alt, click with my mouse, and drag across. And it's going to duplicate those. And I'm going to do it 2 more times. So hold down Alt, click, and drag. Hold down Alt, click, and drag. So B-I-R-T-H-D-A-Y. And then once you're done, click off of it. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stars. The next thing we want to do is we want to add our letters, birthday. So we're going to go ahead and click the T, and I'm just going to click down below, and I'm going to do a B, and we'll fix these later. We want each B to be a different text box. So in order to start a new text box, we're going to hit the selection tool and then click back onto the T, click onto your paper, and do an I. So that way, and then hit your selection tool. That way each one of these is separate. Hit your text tool, click below the 3rd star, do an R. Hit the selection tool, go back to the text tool, do a T, hit your selection tool, back to the T tool, do an H, back to the selection tool, hit the text tool, D, selection tool, text tool, A, selection tool, text tool, Y. Now, the yellow stars, we're actually going to keep them black. So with your selection tool, go ahead and just click on the eye and move it to your star. Obviously mine's a little bit too big for the star, so I'm just going to decrease it a little bit. So just make sure you're mess with your font to make sure it fits inside the star. And then just go to each yellow star and do that. And remember, once you downsize it, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to place it exactly where you want. So for the red ones, we're actually going to change the font to white. So once you click on your B, hit the fill key and hit white. You can do that for each one of them. Okay, and then with the selection tool, just drag it, and you're going to have to make them smaller probably. Once you're happy, before we save it, you want to make sure you double check to make sure that it's correct. So make sure you didn't misspell birthday, or you didn't get something out of order or something. Just make sure you double check so that we don't have to redo it because you imported to Flash and realized you made a mistake. So double check now so you can fix any mistakes now. I'm actually going to downsize maybe just a little bit more. So BIRTHDAY. So I think I am done. So we're going to go File, Save for Web. Make sure the clip to artboard is unclicked. It's a PNG 24. Hit save. Save to wherever you were saving the letters to. And save it as birthday. And hit save. Okay, so we are now done with Illustrator. So you can exit Illustrator and go ahead and go on to the next video to see how to import these into Flash and make our animated video.